Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to today's Etheria video. So this will be the last Etheria video in quite a while because the closed beta testing is ending and we have no idea when the global release of this game will be. So we don't know when the next video will be. So that's why it's the last video in quite a while. But in today's video, we're going to give our 11 days gameplay experience, talking about the good, the bad, as well as give some of our personal opinions with regards to this game itself. So first of all, let's go into the starting screen. This game, I'll say it is actually a really good quality game in terms of the fluidity, the character design, as well as the whole system itself. Like, there are some bugs here and there, but it is quite polished in terms of how complete it is. And if you take a look at all the character models itself, the 3D models, they are quite well developed. They do have their necessary physics if you need them, right? And we have all your waifus with all the voice actors all ready for this game itself. So in terms of the fundamentals of this game, I think it is there. Like, in terms of all the basic stuff, there are good gacha, good graphics, good system, as well as little bug as possible, voice acting, music. I think they're all pretty much on point. But talking about the characters side, I think there are a lot of things to consider with regards to this game, and I think a lot of things is in terms of the difficulty of this game. Like, there's a lot of different mechanics, a lot of different tiers, a lot of different combination of stuff, and this game is probably catered to like the competitive side of players, where they are into the min-maxing, into the strategic aspects, as well as the min-max team building of stuff. So it's not the most beginner friendly game of them all, but then if you're somebody who enjoys strategic team building in terms of building up your characters with the correct sets, combos, as well as equipments, then this is definitely a game that you need to give a try, right? So this is one part which I have a peeve about. Like, this game is enjoyable, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of different stuff to do, but in terms of, I'll say, like the difficulty curve, it's probably on the tougher side of things because of the diverse hero pools, as well as the, I'll say, like in-depthness of all the equipments and the different power-ups for this game. So that's for the pointer number one. Now, pointer number two, in terms of the general gameplay side, there's a whole bunch of things for you to do. So we have your daily challenges, which is like your daily material farmings. You have your trial challenges, which is like your one-time PvE content clears, and then we have limited time event itself. Now, for this contents, if you consider the amount of time needed for the main quest, as well as the challenge quest, the union, as well as your arena contents, there are a lot of things to do on a day-to-day basis. So this game can be a little bit overwhelming at the start because there's a lot of things for you to do. And in terms of the PvP side, it is also really time consuming. So in terms of spending a lot of time, this game definitely can help you kill a lot of time. But at the same time, it is time consuming, okay? Now, in terms of the PvP side, this is where this game is really special. I think this is probably one of the most polished PvE game in the gacha space right now, or one of the most polished real-time arena. Like, if you factor in the fluidity, the band pick system, the structure, the stimulation battle for you to trial your teams itself, as well as the band shielding, as well as the band order, and how esport ready this game mode is, this is actually really, really polished. So overall, I'll say this game is definitely more towards catering to those players who are the RTA enjoyers, the people that like to play real-time PvP, and maybe players with the time to do so. Cause like this game mode, because if you factor in the per match timing to play through this, if you consider all the band picks and stuff, it is fun, but then it takes time. So, and if you factor in all the daily stuff you need to do, such as your daily arena, your summit arena, as well as all the union stuff, as well as the daily farm stuff, yeah, you guys can see where I'm going. Although there is this auto farm feature which can help you farm up your resources as you are doing the other contents itself. So this is definitely really, really good, right? But at the same time, there's a problem with it, and that is the speed of the farm itself is dependent on your teams itself, right? So for the auto farm feature, it's dependent on how many stars you get for the specific stage. So the more star you get, the more auto battle you can do per auto battle cycle. So this is the good thing. Basically, you max out your rewards at just 1 star. But the thing is, if you're doing it at 1 star, it means that you don't clear the challenge that fast. So for you to be as efficient in your farming as possible, you want to sort of build up a team that is able to hit fast and hit hard. So that is like the mini caveat. So it is not a major problem because like in most of these gacha games itself, hard and fast, they don't counter each other. So you can do them all together. But that's for the auto battle side. So you click on auto battle, you go into the tab itself, and then you're free to do other stuff or switch the game to other tabs or leave the game there and do your other work itself. So that's the good thing about the auto farm feature. So in terms of contents, definitely sufficient for you to kill your time, and definitely a lot of strategy stuff to consider for the real-time arena side. So these are the really strong points, as well as some of the pointers that might not be that good or might be a point of consideration for some of you guys out there with regards to this game. Okay, so for this part of the video, this will be probably the last part, and I'll take this opportunity to talk about the remaining stuff as well as showcase the gameplay and the loop of this game in general. So this is one of the story chapters. You can revisit the story chapters and then you jump into this world. So let's run forward and then go into the battle. So you can zoom in, zoom out, you can hide behind the wall with the R button, and then you can assault the enemy to sort of have a sneak attack on them, right, depending on what type of enemies you are fighting. So right now we are going into the boss battle. So with regards to the PvE side of things, I think this game is quite, I'll say, polished. Like I mentioned earlier, right, it has all the things that you will want from a good gacha game: good voice acting, good character design, good 3D animation, good like general package for you to have an immersive experience. So story wise, I'm not going to spoil too much, but I think the story is actually okay. Like it is obviously slightly generic to many of the other gacha games out there, because I played a lot of different gacha games and I feel like there's a sense of similarity in this one compared to many of the others that I've played. So there's that. But in terms of the exploration side, slightly unfortunate, because other than the actual story progression, you are actually not using that 3D models to run around. So right now the only place that you use your character model to run around is the story mode. So other than that, nowhere else. Maybe it will be added into the future. So like most of the time you'll just be in that room that we saw just now, jumping into the various game mode and then going into the turn-based combat side. So that's a bummer, because I do think that the 3D model is really good and they should probably let our main character run around a little bit more and have more stories and events related to it. So that's that. But in terms of the general package, this game definitely delivers, right? As you guys can see, voice acting, character design, really nice and high quality background images and so let's skip the battle and just go into the combat. So this is basically the combat system, which you guys might have seen before in my previous video or might have seen from other content creators out there. And for the combat side, we do have your elemental counter over here. So red counter green, green counter blue, and then we have the light and dark element, so they counter each other. And there's a 3-time feature with the auto battle button. So this is for those of you guys who want to auto your contents while still sort of having control as to, you know, what your team does in terms of the positioning itself. So let's start the battle. So talking about the auto battle feature, one thing which I am not so like contented about for this auto battle feature is that for some of these unit skills, you can't actually choose which unit to buff specifically. So that is something which I realized after playing the game a bit, because let's off this auto over here, and then like for example, this skill is a self-casting skill. So when you auto battle, it's fine, right? This is a AoE casting skill, so when you auto battle, it's perfectly fine. So this is like multi-target, perfectly fine as well. So these are the different stuff that is perfectly fine when you're using auto. But then for this unit over here, this unit has this single target buff ability that gives additional HP to one of my allies, right? So in battle itself, the combo that I would like to do is to use this skill to buff up my Tiamat, which is the 4th unit right here. But when you are in auto, there's no way for you to constantly let this unit cast this buff on her, and it not just happens to this unit. There are other units where there's like a single target debuff. So if you're targeting the enemy, right, it's perfectly fine, because in auto battle you can choose which enemy you want to prioritize first, and then your unit will cast all their skills on the units. But let's say if you are casting on your ally side, that's where it could actually go all over the place, because I can't really tell the pattern of how this revive works or how this targeting of this skill works, because it doesn't target a unit of a specific speed or doesn't target a unit of a specific slot. So that's just something that's pretty minor, like I'll say, because if you're using auto, I think you're fine with like a little bit of miss on the tuning side, but that's for the auto battling. But generally speaking, you can actually leave this game in the background, go to the toilet, have some happy time with your girlfriend, do your homework, watch some YouTube videos, and then you know this game will run. So you can do this on top of the auto continuous battle in the background. So that's auto battle on top of auto battle on top of you autoing for your other stuff in life. So that's for the combat side, gameplay side. So this is basically it for this 10-day review in terms of the gameplay, the good and the bad, as well as some of my personal experience for this game itself. So this game definitely has its strengths, but at the same time, this game is gonna compete with some of the biggest players in the market this year, such as the likes of your Ananta, NTE, as well as even more Pokemon TCG Pocket contents and a lot of updates from many other games out there. So we shall see how this game will perform, but I'll definitely give this game a try once the global release is here. So stay tuned for more content from this game, and I will see you guys in the next Etheria restart video. Bye guys.